When player heroes set out to cover a large amount of space between two known destinations, the rules for journey can be applied to quickly create encounters, both beneficial and hazardous, along the way. Our heroes, Ingold, Elahir, and Fastred, are traveling from the North Downs to the ruins of Fornost. Every journey has 4 roles that must be covered. They are the Guide, Hunter, Lookout, and Scout. If there are more than 4 players, multiple players could be assigned the same role with the exception of the Guide. In this scenario, there are less players than roles, so at least one player will have to cover multiple roles. On this journey, Ingold will be the Guide and Hunter, Elahir will be the Lookout, and Fastred will be the Scout. The journey then plays out in 3 stages: set journey path, make marching rolls, and ending the journey. The players can use the map at the start of the core rulebook and plan their route from their current location to their destination, making sure to take into account rivers, forests, and mountains that might block their path. The Lore Master will then follow their basic path using the map at the back of the core rules. Now that the path is set, it is time to see if any events happen along the way, and where. The Guide, in this case Ingold, will make a travel roll. If the roll is successful, the event takes place 3 hexes away from the starting location, +1 for each success icon. If the travel roll is a failure, an event happens 2 hexes away if it is summer or spring. If it is autumn or winter, the event happens 1 hex away. Ingold has a rating of 2 for travel, so he will roll 1 feat die plus 2 success dice, hoping to beat his heart TN of 14. Since he fails his roll with a 13, an event will happen 2 hexes into their journey. The Lore Master must also know what type of land the event takes place in. Not only are the heroes in the Darklands, but they are also in a hex with hard terrain, signified by the hills and trees. This will be very important soon. Now the Lore Master must determine the nature of the event and who is primarily involved by rolling a d6 on the event target table on page 112. In this case, the result is a 2, so Fastred the Scout might be in for some trouble. The Lore Master will now roll a feat die on the Journey Events table to see what event takes place. Since the event is taking place in the Darklands, the roll is ill-favored. If it was a borderland, the roll would be favored, or if the land was wild, it would just be a regular roll. The result of the ill-favored roll is an 8 and a 5. The Lore Master must choose the lower number. A mishap occurs. Looking back at the event target table, we can see that Fastred will need to make an Explore roll to hopefully lessen the problems caused by the event. Fastred's Explore rolls are favored. As well, he has a rating of 2. If the event had taken place along a road, Fastred would have been able to add 1d to his roll. However, since the company is in hard terrain, he will lose 1d. Therefore, Fastred makes a favored roll with only 1 success die, trying to equal or beat his Wits TN of 13. His roll succeeds. That means the main consequences of the event are avoided. However, regardless of whether or not the roll succeeds, everyone in the company still gains 2 extra fatigue points, which we'll cover more soon. The Lore Master is encouraged to give a description of what happened during the event. In this case, while scouting ahead, Fastred thought he had found a better path. Luckily, before the company had gone too far, he realized the path wasn't a good one, and they were able to return to their original route. Now the journey is able to resume with Ingold making another travel roll. This time he succeeds, which would mean the event would happen 3 hexes away. Since the company will reach their destination in 3 hexes, no further journey events happen. If Ingold had have failed his roll again, the Lore Master would set up another event using the earlier rules. Before the campaign can continue though, the company must calculate their travel fatigue. Fastred's mishap caused everyone in the company to gain 2 fatigue points. Once the company reaches their destination, each member can make a travel roll to reduce their fatigue by 1, plus an additional point for each success icon rolled. If you watch my video on character creation, you might remember Elahir taking a bottle of Miravar with him to help with exhausting journeys. Anyone he shares this with can add an extra 1d to their roll. Also, any heroes with a horse or pony can reduce their fatigue by the mount's vigor rating. After this, if a hero has any fatigue remaining, they note it down on their sheet. Fatigue temporarily raises a player's load score. A player will further lose fatigue at a rate of 1 point per prolonged rest they take in a sheltered and safe refuge, so not on the road. Now that the journey is over, the Lore Master can set the next scene and the campaign can continue as normal. There are last few points worth mentioning. If the company wants to know exactly how long they've been traveling, this can be calculated in days by counting the number of hexes in the journey, adding 1 day for each hex containing hard terrain. This number can be halved, rounding up, if the company was all on horseback and was traveling through areas where this was possible. If the company is in a hurry, they can take a forced march. This means it only takes 1 day to travel every 2 hexes. However, each member will also gain an additional point of fatigue for every day traveled. And finally, you may have noticed these locations marked in red on the map. These are perilous locations. Each location also has a numerical rating to determine how dangerous it is. If a guide's marching test would lead into or through a perilous location, the company must stop and face a number of events equal to the rating. Once all events have been resolved, the company can resume their journey from the first hex along the journey path outside the boundaries of the perilous location. That is everything you need to know about journeys. If you haven't already, please check out my videos on character creation, combat, councils, and stay tuned for my next video covering how the shadow works in the One Ring. There'll also be a few other videos coming out about creating magic items, famous weapons, armor, cursed items, and nameless things, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching.